Hello everyone, welcome back another episode and enjoying the video. It was a simple and convenient offer, arriving at the perfect time, but it had reached the wrong hands. True, age had made Jabbar yearn for peace, prosperity, and a quiet life. He was willing to make many sacrifices for the safety of his family, but one thing he would never sacrifice was his dignity. He folded the scroll, shot a glance toward Tagheen, who sat smirking behind his ranks, certain his offer would be accepted. Then, without hesitation, Jabbar turned to the messenger and muttered, "You did not come to offer us life. You came to bring us disgrace." Then, in one swift motion, he raised his massive fist and roared, "Victory to the emperors!" With a single stroke of his blade, he beheaded the messenger, officially igniting the war. The two armies clashed in an epic battle where only one side could survive. Tagheen did not engage in the fight. Instead, he remained safely behind a circle of his most powerful warrior witches, watching with confidence as the battle unfolded. On the other side, Jabbar fought ferociously, leading his soldiers into the fray. Taj and Tara, the legendary duo, fought side by side, proving once again that they were an unstoppable force. Meanwhile, Asif battled with unwavering bravery, carving his way toward the heart of the enemy ranks. However, the battle was grossly uneven, completely one-sided. Tagheen's overwhelming numbers ensured that at times, 10 or more of his soldiers would attack a single emperor warrior. Despite their impending defeat, Asif and his allies refused to surrender, fighting on with unmatched courage. Jabbar noticed his reckless grandson pushing forward toward the enemy's core and immediately understood his plan. He rushed toward Asif, shouting over the chaos, "Where do you think you're going, you reckless fool?" Asif kept fighting as he answered, "I'm going to end this war." "And how do you plan to do that?" "By killing Tagheen." "You think killing him will be that simple?" "I don't know. I'll tell you once I try." "Do you see the witches surrounding him? Even the weakest among them could defeat you with ease. Someone has to kill him. If we don't, we all die." At that moment, Kizrin approached, interrupting their argument with an urgent update. "Tagheen's army is closing in from the right flank." Jabbar cursed, "If they encircle us, our defeat will be absolute." Asif, inexperienced in war tactics, asked, "What do you suggest we do, Kizrin?" "We must break the encirclement before it fully forms." Jabbar, who had been fighting fiercely while also ensuring his own survival in case of victory, now realized that if he did not act immediately, his entire family would be doomed. He turned to Kizrin and ordered, "Cover me." "What are you going to do?" "I'm breaking the encirclement before it's too late." "This isn't a good idea, my lord. If I don't, we all die. We're all going to die anyway. You should at least stay alive until the end." "And die twice? Once from watching my family perish, and then again at Tagheen's hands." Kaizarin was about to say something, but Jabbar silenced her. "This is the last request I ask of you. Watch my back." With that, he dug his heels into the sides of his winged warhorse and toward the enemy army's right flank. Within moments, he single-handedly halted their advance, cutting them down one after another. Taj noticed this and was stunned. "What is Jabbar doing over there?" "I tried to stop him," Kaizarin said. "We need to get him out of there," Taj muttered to herself, then turned to Tara and shouted, "Get ready. We're going to help Jabbar." "No," Tara said firmly. "We must not abandon our positions. If we do, chaos will spread, and the enemy will find a gap in our ranks to strike through. Let our army be destroyed. The important thing is that Jabbar doesn't die." Kaizarin interjected, "Stay in your place, Taj. Have you grown so foolish as to give me orders, Kaizarin? Have you forgotten who I am?" "I haven't forgotten. But I hope you also don't forget that the safety of the army and its soldiers is my responsibility." "Then why didn't you stop Jabbar from going there?" "He disobeyed my orders and went." "Then watch me disobey your orders and go." Taj was about to move, but Tara stopped her. "Jabbar wouldn't be pleased to see you by his side, but he will die if we don't help him. He chose his fate." "Then I will go." Asif intervened. "No," Kaizarin stopped him. "If both you and Lord Jabbar fall, the entire army will collapse." No one could go to support Jabbar, and he remained alone, fending off every enemy that stood before him with incredible skill. He slaughtered countless foes. Even Jeremy, the war minister of King Tagheen, couldn't last minutes against him, despite being one of the fiercest and most powerful warriors. When the situation became dire and Jabbar's presence turned into a real obstacle, Tagheen summoned Shawahir, the head witch of the sorcerer's village. "Jabbar can only die through treachery," he said. She nodded and left. Everyone was engaged in battle when they heard a cry, resembling the sound of the trumpet of doom. When they turned toward its source, they saw Jabbar with a long, jagged, black spear piercing his back, its tip ablaze with violet flames, having emerged from the other side of his body. Even though it was a fatal strike, he did not fall. He continued fighting. But it was clear to all that his defenses had weakened drastically, and he wouldn't last much longer. The sight of their leader, impaled by the flaming spear, crushed the morale of the Imperial warriors and instilled terror in their hearts. Even Taj herself, did nothing but collapse to her knees, holding her head in shock, whispering in a hushed voice, "Jabbar?" The only one who refused to stand idle was Asif. Recklessly, he threw himself into the fray where his grandfather stood, disregarding the consequences. The enemies swarmed him, but his burning rage allowed him to hold his ground, even for a moment. "What are you doing here, you reckless fool?" Jabbar asked, his voice strained. "I came to get you out of here. Leave me and go. I can cover you for a while. Hurry. I won't let them have the honor of killing you," Asif said stubbornly. Kaisarin, watching Asif throw himself into danger, muttered in frustration, "That boy is heading straight for his doom." She glanced around as if searching for a solution, then called out, "Rosanna, you devil!" The demoness Rosanna appeared at her call. "My lady, ensure a safe escape route for Asif and Lord Jabbar. As you command." She leaped into the death zone, distracting the enemies long enough for Asif to extract his wounded grandfather from the battlefield. However, just before they could escape entirely, Shawahir prepared another magical spear, its tip engulfed in violet flames, aiming for her next target. Kaisarin noticed her, but she was too occupied repelling the advancing enemies to act. All she could do in that moment was hope, desperately hope, that something, anything, would stop that spear from reaching Asif. Shawahir pulled her arm back as far as she could, ensuring the spear would strike with deadly force. She closed one eye, aimed with the other, bit her tongue between her toothless gums, and took a deep breath through her large nose. Then, just as she was about to hurl the spear toward Asif, something happened, something no one expected. Suddenly, from the sky, a blazing firestorm erupted, incinerating Shawahir in an instant. All eyes turned toward the source of the fire, revealing a massive red bird with long wings and a tail resembling that of a peacock. Resting on its back was a rat with a long, goat-like beard. "Ah, the scent of delicious roast," the wise one murmured, inhaling the smoke rising from Shawahir's charred corpse. Then, glancing at the battlefield littered with fallen bodies, he added, "It seems we arrived too late for the celebration." Even though Asif was devastated by his grandfather's injury, he couldn't help but smile upon seeing his old friends, Iklo and the Wise One, safe and sound. His awe deepened when he gazed into the distance, where he saw centaur tribes filling the western and eastern skies, soaring behind their princess, Ashawis, in a grand military display. From their ranks, one centaur broke away, flying toward where Asif stood. As it drew closer, it became clear that a massive, dark-skinned human was riding atop it. Though the figure was unusually tall and broad, far beyond normal human proportions, he seemed small compared to the centaur beneath him. Grinning, revealing a set of gleaming white teeth with a single golden fang, he spoke in a gentle tone, as if addressing a mischievous child. "Still as foolish as ever, you little annoying louse." Tears of joy climbed into Asif's throat as he whispered in relief, "I was afraid you wouldn't come."